Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Oi, Joy.
Yo. What's up, Bob?
Damn.
You didn't even know I had that low on my register, did you?
Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you learned something new.
Giving you range. You know.
She gives it to you. She gives you the range. Home on the range.
Okay.
She's Annie Oakley up in this bitch.
Okay.
What's new? How's life?
That's a stupid question. It's a nightmare from which you never stop waking up every day. But, if you ask a better question like, what is keeping you going through this hellscape? Binging shows that I've seen like 3 times already. So I'm back.
Comfort Zone.
Yeah, Comfort Zone.
Isn't that Vanessa Williams' second album?
I don't know, but I have to wonder if anybody else, when they're like starting to go into their mild depressive state, also chooses, shows that they've seen multiple times. Because you know how it's going to make you feel. And really just the highlights. That's the key. Okay, don't watch the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, because you are a different kind of beast. You are a different person.
I knew you were going to have a feel about that.
This is the truth about Joy, everybody.
Yes.
She will fast forward through things just to get to the part she wants to watch. So there's no, people out here making 3 or 4 hour long movies. That's not Joy. Joy's going to watch an hour long movie no matter what. Is that not a fact?
I mean, it is a fact. It's only if I'm watching something. I mean, now if I've seen it multiple times, that's really when it happens, right? But yeah, if you let me sit in the room by myself, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, if another person is there, then I'll probably watch the whole thing. But I will be thinking to myself, we could be fine. This is boring part. For like 5 whole minutes, nothing happens. Why are we watching this section?
Because the truth is, if Joy had control over the RuPaul's Drag Race that we watched, she would watch, she would not watch the beginning at all, because it would just be recapping last week. And she doesn't like it when they talk about what happened last week at all. So she'll go to the part where they get the briefing. They'll do their little mini thing, and she'll watch that. But then when they're putting their makeup on and conversating, she doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to listen to them. I don't want all the
workroom drama and all that kind of shit.
So she'll want to fast forward through that, and then she'll want to fast forward right to the runway, and then she'll want to watch the runway, but she don't want to hear them talking after the runway and discussing anything. She wants to go right to lip sync, and if the lip sync isn't serving what Joy needs in the first 10 seconds of the lip sync, if a bitch is changing her clothes or putting on a different wig, Joy's done.
Bathroom. It's time to go to the bathroom. Don't even pause it. I'll be back in time to see which Ho's gonna leave.
Now, this is the same kind of motherfucker who loves going to the movie theater.
I know!
So I do not get it. I do not get it.
But that's a brand new experience. And the thing about RuPaul's Drag Race is it's different people, but it's the same fucking episode. We've been watching the same episode for how many seasons?
15 seasons for RuPaul's Drag Race next year.
Right, and then add in all the UK, this is only the 3rd UK one, but nonetheless.
UK, Australia, watched
and then all the All-Stars.
You watched all the All-Stars, yeah, true. So you're 20 plus seasons into RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah, gotcha. We know the formula, I guess. It's formulaic at this point.
But it is our weekly little dose of joy.
Joy. Yeah.
Joy with joy. For you.
Speaking of hoes.
Mm-hmm. I threw that in there. I thought you would like that.
Yes. That's our topic this week.
It is.
Now,
is it Why It Gotta Be Ho? What specifically was your title again?
Why It Gotta Be a Hoe.
Why It Gotta Be a Hoe. Okay.
Because do you remember that, what was it from? I think it was from Wedding Singer, where the little kid said, "She a bitch."
Oh.
No, anyway.
It's not ringing bells.
Okay, anyway. So.
Go ahead.
What do you have to say about hoes?
Well, so I would just like to reiterate my PSA. I was thinking about it and I was like, I'm positive I've said this on our podcast here before. Ho is genderless. Okay?
Right.
Okay, so any gender, non-gender, hoe is equal opportunity. So when I say these hoes is out here fucking up, and some people automatically assume I mean women. No.
Wow.
No. Mm-mm.
Now, we completely understand the negative connotation that's been applied to women over the years
Right.
and how the word has been used towards women and other words that I may say in this episode, because there's got to be a compare and contrast when you speak about hoe, because you can't, you know. And then there's spelling differences. So we're dissecting the hoe.
We are. Let's get into spelling differences.
Which could be Frankenhooker
we could
if
do
you've
that
ever seen that
later.
movie. Yes.
But the spelling of it all.
Yes, and we will definitely have an alternative spelling for the podcast. That way we don't get censored again on Apple.
Yes, that's right.
Apple likes to censor our podcast titles whenever we have cursing in them. Of course they would, right?
Mangy-ass bitches.
Actually, Spotify just leaves the word completely out. They don't even just put a
So
asterisk
would it be
in
like,
there.
why it gotta be a blank?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes if you're listening to us on Spotify, it's just a mystery what we're talking about.
That's hilarious.
Because ghost fucking was just ghost.
That's also I don't listen to us on Spotify. That's crazy.
Yeah, so
just ghost.
Just ghost. So I feel like there is a sexual revolution, right? I feel like people are, slut shaming is starting to become a thing of the past. Like people are reclaiming their sexuality. Being sex positive is completely away. What did you say?
I said along with their time.
Along with their time. And, sex workers are definitely seen differently by a lot more people, I feel like, than 20 plus years ago. Or, when I was a kid and I idolized an 80s LA hooker. Like, it's a different thing. Like,
oh yeah, now it's a dream to fucking have an OnlyFans. Are you
absolutely. Yeah, no.
So many people.
If I could just get away with that, a hoe.
Oh yeah.
So, let's get. Do you have another PSA, or do you want to save it for later?
I'm gonna save it for later because it's about spelling.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, so let's start at the beginning.
Okay, let's do that.
At first, there was light. Then there were hoes.
Right after, absolutely.
Animals hoeing. Everyone's had to hoe. We wouldn't be where we're at today if there wasn't hoeing.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. You see, I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just elaborating for those at home.
Okay.
Who are just frothing.
They're like,
they're just frothing the fact that I keep saying that word.
Right. I got you.
So, sex, anyway, it happens. I've heard.
Maybe
I've heard it's used to make children.
Ah, yeah.
So
sometimes people do that.
Yeah, and so, but what I want to get down to at the beginning is hoe, tramp, whore, slut.
Okay, get that right on out.
Okay,
You've been holding that in.
Yeah, because and I guess hooker. I don't hear people say that often anymore. It used to be a thing.
Tramp is also very old.
Yeah, it used to be like look hooker, or I remember people used to say that a lot.
No, you meant
And so that was always fun. And it never meant anything other than something to call like a fucker or something like that. It was, Anyway. So there's differences we've been told over the years.
Yes.
So a whore is just somebody who makes money.
Makes the money.
Makes the money.
Slut is out here doing it for free.
Slut is doing it for free.
Yep.
Tramp is someone who actually is not necessarily sexual, but is someone who, is someone who will be sexual and talking and actions and trampy behavior.
Giving easy behavior, which easy is not even a word people use anymore. If you're under 40 at this point, you're like, what the fuck is easy?
Easy was also one of the terms that people would say for that girl or that guy is easy.
There's hoochie. There's one I'm trying to think of that's not hoochie, but it's it's along the lines of tramp, hoochie mama. Hussy!
Hussy.
That Hussy is like in the lane of slut.
And but doesn't hussy like mean, I mean, to me, hussy means like you're doing it and it's like you're on your, like a hustle. Like I've always associated hussy with hustle, so like a fast. Oh. I mean, like, I'm asking, right?
It's very genuinely like, because you're not sure, like, fast hoe?
I don't know. I feel like I did some research, and the research was there was no research. Because I went out there, and I'm like, how do you literally spell hoe? Like, and then everybody had a different thing, right? And I feel like these words existed long before the Urban Dictionary. So is the Urban Dictionary where I need to go?
No.
Because somebody put the definition of a hoe as J-Lo on the Urban Dictionary.
Oh my gosh.
And so, like, seriously, that's yeah. So, like, I feel like there needs to be hoe and the thesaurus.
Right.
And you tell us if those are synonyms or not.
Yeah.
Or, like, a presentation. Like a pachaka-cha.
Oh, you would love that. You would be the person who would give it.
I would give it quite yes. Anyway.
Can I get into the spell? So since you brought it up.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the spelling for a second. I feel that hoe has very much gone the way of regardless and irregardless, which a lot of people our age still cringe if you say irregardless. But if you look it up in the dictionary, they will acknowledge that so many people have used it that they're like, and it's like one of those things if you look up or if you Google, it's like, meh. So many people use it. Whatever, we don't care anymore.
Like ain't.
Like ain't.
Ain't is now a thing.
I'm trying to think another. There's other examples that you'll look it up and you'll be like, is it this or this? And then
it's
internet...
like literally. Like literally
yes.
is now the definition
people
has
just give it up.
changed.
They're like, meh, whatever. It's not going to fight about it. So, hoe, obviously a gardening tool.
With an E.
Correct.
That's the correct spelling.
And yet. Everybody and their mother spells a hoe, meaning, what we're talking about. Like the gardening tool.
Yeah.
And I'm the only moron out here trying to take the time to take the E out, and especially when I'm talking about hoes, take that E out, but make sure you got an S. And so then I seem like the person who's stupid. Because everybody else spells it the other way.
But that just brings up English.
It does.
Because is a plural hose with an ES.
That's not the way I was sure about to make up a word because I was getting so. I feel strongly. That's not the way we pluralize things. I was about to make up a word. I'm having a Jesse Jackson moment. Listen. No, it isn't. Well, but also, here's how I know that's true. Because if somebody's calling someone a hoe, they also still use the E, even singular.
Right.
I don't see people.
I do occasionally
H-O.
Because, and this is a whole thing.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay, please explain.
Jesus to the co-opting of Christmas for Jesus to the Santa Claus of the ho-ho-hos. So, to me, Christians have taken over the H-O. Right? Because there's ho-ho-ho on things.
I'm done. I need a drink for that.
Drink it. Take a drink. Take a long sip of this ho tea. Because that's why I've taken the gardening tool, which no one uses anymore. No one uses it anymore.
I understand. That's not the point.
It's an old wooden thing that no one uses. It's all rotting in your burnt down shed. Is what's happening with a hoe. No one uses anymore. Tilling. There's all kinds of other things to do. Aerators. There's all kinds of things for your yard that no one uses a hoe anymore. So I feel like there's only one hoe.
So that makes it. I mean, listen. I begrudgingly have accepted the fate. Okay, I'm not going to change anybody's mind on this. I'm aware of the fact.
But I dare you, and I want you to, and I want to watch it happen. I want you to go to Lowe's. And I want you to ask them for the hoe section.
I hate you.
And if they don't send you to the customer service desk, I will buy your next month's meals.
Yes! Let's go to Lowe's right now. I can't lose.
Okay, so, but there's a third spelling.
I do know about this. Go ahead.
The Heaux.
Yeah.
Because
I do, yes.
you have to censor.
Yes.
So there's the hoe, like a bow.
Right.
In which that's what we'll be using for the episode. But, just alternative. And so, what do you feel about that?
Well, the only feeling I have about that one is I've actually seen people use that one for plural, like for hose.
Mm.
So it's weird that they would associate, because I would think it would be singular as well, but it's the X. It's the X of it all.
It's the X that we're using as plural.
The X makes
plural
it plural.
tips now, yeah. So
that's true to French, right? Beau is B-A-U.
Mm-hmm.
So once you put an X on it, it gets to be plural.
Right.
So.
Okay.
But I'm not saying, you know what I mean? People have used it both ways. I just think I've seen it the most times with the X is the plural. But I don't have any strong feeling, because it's like an adaptation. It's like a made-up thing. It's like, I'm with it. Because it wasn't there before. And we created it specifically for this purpose.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm always for an alternate spelling for things. You know me.
I know. I do know.
I'll run an alternate spelling into the ground. Okay, so spelling.
I'm done. And now continue our lesson, please.
So I guess the lesson is a question.
Okay.
And maybe more of a mother, may I have permission kind of situation. In the trials and tribulations of a hoe, I feel that hoes are applied to many different aspects, right? Hoeing, doing.
Yeah.
Do you feel hoeing is just sleeping around? Or do you feel that, like, it's specifically, like, if the person you're sleeping with is in a relationship, then you're a hoe?
Well, I struggle with this because the way that I use hoe is a little bit different. So I have to answer it two ways, right? Because
you just use hoe as a person, as a way, like, you don't really mean it in a sexual way.
I don't at all. No, I don't. It's like, because bitch has multiple meanings. You can be, it's like, look, bitch, right? And that's not good. But a lot of times when I use bitch, it's friendly. Like, bitch, get over here. Whatever, right? But a hoe, if I'm like, these hoes, is that, like, it's always something bad.
It's negative.
It's negative. And again, it's beautiful because it has no gender. So it's just, it's for everyone.
Yeah, because I
Anyone
could quote
can get this
what
hoe.
you would say. It was these hoes over here fucking up.
Yes. And they usually are.
Yes.
They usually are, is my point. But if I was going to use it in the sexual term, I would say, yeah, because sleeping around, is that even a thing? It's not 1952 anymore.
Right.
Like, if you was a hoe, it's because you're out here fucking with other people's quote-unquote property, or who are supposed to be in committed relationships of some kind, form, or fashion.
And if y'all didn't know, OPP was a song in the 90s about doing that.
Yes.
So I felt like I was given permission by Search. Anyway,
sometimes I hate you.
So then you think, okay, so I'm asking for a friend.
Okay. Tell me what this friend
So
did.
if you knowingly sleep with somebody that you know that they're married, that's hoe behavior.
That is hoe behavior.
Okay, just checking.
It is. And that's a whole other... We're going to have to put a pin in it. We're going to have this as a future topic, maybe on one of our random shows. Because I don't get the appeal of sleeping with somebody or being involved in any way with somebody who is married specifically. Like, why you want to bring that kind of drama into your life?
Yeah.
It's never good. It's never good. Trust me, I've heard so many stories. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. Like, there are so many other dicks. There's so many other pussies out in the world. Why? And the fact that we have so many songs dedicated to it, I will now shut up, but I have strong feelings. That's all.
No, that's the thing is, like, I think if you, like, you're speaking as, like, when you're talking, you're sounding like somebody who's continually fucking with somebody who is married. Because generally you don't know. I mean, in my past, most times you don't know someone's married before you
and
sleep
that
with
to
them.
me, I get. Like,
yeah, and then
no
they're
fault.
being the hoe.
Exactly, and you are innocent, and that is a real situation. And you know, my pity goes out to those people. But when you know a motherfucker's married and you're still out here like, this sounds like a good idea, it's probably going to end well. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, because there are things called guns and knives.
It's just the drama of it all, because always it's like the person wants more attention than the married person can give, or there's always something.
Yeah.
There's too many scenarios for me to list them out.
No. And then there's open relationships, so that's a whole nother situation.
That's different.
Reevaluating my life. No. So I
I was
was
like, do you have any specific thoughts what are your specific feels about Heau at this point?
I mean, I have come to the realization that I don't make enough money doing it to be a whore. So I have to be a hoe.
Oh, so it's like levels. Is this like if there was like a rating chart, it would start at slut, and then it would move to hoe, and then it'd be whore?
I feel like in
terms of money.
I feel like in the terms, like what's up, slut? I don't know. I feel like slut, although we're calling it slut shaming, I don't feel like slut is as, it's like saying ass compared to fuck.
Right.
I feel like whore has the word itself, like looking at the word, it looks evil. It doesn't look like a nice thing.
It doesn't. It's funny because it's not a hard sound, but it is in a way. It's a hard word. It comes
out hard.
It does.
Whore.
It is.
And the longer you drag that R out, the more you mean it.
That's 1,000% true.
Yeah. So, and plus you have to make money to be a whore. I mean, that's what Yeah. Okay. So if that's what we're saying, that's what we're saying. Is there a monetary amount you have to make in a year? like claiming it on your taxes? Like, do you have to make $600 in order to be a whore? Or like, are you a bronze level? Do you have like sort of leveling? I mean,
I would think at that point, whore is in the eye of the beholder. You know what I mean? Because different people are going to have different amounts. You know, I'm going to think that a whore has to make a certain amount. And, you know, your random, I can't even think of a name that wouldn't get me in trouble, but your random aunt down the street and in another state is going to have a different thought about a whore. And it's probably some bitch that goes to her church and she just don't like her. So she thinks she's a whore.
True.
And she not making no money.
I do feel like Christian people use whore more than they do hoe.
They do. They absolutely do.
Because
it's not a swear to them.
No.
And hoe is.
Yeah. Right. Because whore is a technical term.
Mm-hmm. They feel very biblical, I think. In general. We're not going to say everybody.
Not everybody. If you're Christian and listen to this show, we're not calling you out.
No.
But we're calling you out.
Well, I would just say, I mean, I pull that from my own upbringing. Like, hoe's definitely a swear. Whore is not.
Whore is not. Because they'll say whore in church, not hoe in church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you had to, like, Excel spreadsheet.
This episode is amazing. Go ahead.
The amount of hoes compared to whores or sluts that you know. Would you say you know more hoes than sluts and whores, or?
Okay, going by the sexual definitions, I would say I know the most sluts, but some hoes. I don't know many. I don't know really any whores. Sadly,
No, I know.
I would like to know more about what that's like. You know what I mean? I would have lots of questions. I would get very 2020 about it. So I don't know if there are any whores listening that need a new friend. That's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm your gal.
And that just makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I was just thinking the same. It's probably same for my stats. I don't know. Yeah.
Because if people are out there making the money, I don't know. I think for most of our lives, it would have been too quote unquote shameful, so we wouldn't have known it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's more within the last maybe 5 years, if that. Even that people are more open about it. You know, people are accountants, quote unquote, on TikTok and things like that. So
I had to quote TikTok the other day at work about accountants. Because somebody said at work that they wanted to study to be an accountant on the phone call. And I said to one of the student workers, like, I'm sure that they mean like business accounting.
Yes.
Because they were like, they wanted to be an accountant. So I'm like, I'm sure.
You're like,
that they're going to business.
They mean the actual program.
Yes.
Yes, that we have here. Thank you.
But yeah, I think that, and also, does OnlyFans count?
I would say it does. But it's weird because it's like, if we're gonna semantics, right? If your OnlyFans is just you and you're still making money, doesn't that kind of put you in a little more hope? I feel like whore involves another person. So if you and your partner of some sort are doing stuff on camera on OnlyFans and making money, that gets more into whore action for me. But maybe I'm a purist. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. But then there's money.
I know. There's multiple factors. It's kind of like you give me strict definitions, either or and plus.
Well, and then also, like, I don't know, like, when I think of the term sex worker, I do not think of an OnlyFans person.
No, but if you were a reporter or a journalist of some kind, you would absolutely use that term as often as possible.
Oh, yeah, obviously. But, I mean, I just think that, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's such a weird world to live in.
It is.
Because, like, not like coming from I'm an old person situation, but coming from a knowledge seeker, a knowledge wanter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Do OnlyFans people call themselves sex workers? I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, they jokingly say accountants, and but people just say OnlyFans, or I have an OnlyFans, and that's all they say, and you know what it means.
It's true. I feel that I have heard OnlyFans people say that they do sex work, but again, it was like one of those type of shows where the journalist has like led them in, right? So you're gonna be like, sure, I'm doing this thing. We'll call it that. Yeah, I do think it's interesting because I think it's an interesting time where definitions themselves are changing and probably be different next year than it is right now, quite frankly.
Because I could easily see somebody thinking that they aren't a sex worker, even though they have an OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. And, like, rationalizing. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm doing this to pay for college, or I'm doing this for da-da-da-da.
Or, oh, I just, iron shit with my top off, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that doesn't feel like traditional sex work. So
true. I guess OnlyFans is a broad spectrum.
It is.
Broad. Yeah. That one can only be applied to women, unfortunately, and that's not even. I mean, I don't think people say that anymore either.
No, thank God.
Okay, so let's sandwich this episode with these terms are horrible for everybody. especially towards women.
Right.
And negative connotations have been placed on them with these words for hundreds of years in some word cases. Still don't know where, the true definitions of these. We've obviously just given our joke or what we think are our opinions.
Absolutely.
As we have no concrete evidence or scientific facts about these words. Yeah. So don't call anybody these words. You can call yourself these words, I guess. I don't know. You can use the words.
I ain't gonna stop.
I'm just saying that, negative connotations for sex workers. Call people sex workers.
Oh, right.
And then call your aunt a whore.
Absolutely.
Or your uncle a whore.
Expand your thinking.
Your aunt and uncle. They're whores. Hoes. Sluts.